Hello, this is Professor Q. Healing from trauma is a complex and deeply personal process that can be different for every individual and every situation. Forgiveness is often considered by many to be a significant or must-do part of the healing process, but it is not the only path, and some victims may choose not to forgive their abuser. For some survivors of abuse or trauma, the idea of forgiving someone who took so much can feel impossible, overwhelming, or harmful to recovery. Forgiveness can sometimes be mistaken for making excuses for the abuser, or as a way of letting that person off the hook for their actions. Someone can easily find themselves slipping into self-blame and start questioning such as, "It's all my fault. I need to do better. If I hadn't gone there, it wouldn't have happened. Maybe he thought I wanted this. I wore the wrong kind of clothes. I wore too much makeup," and so forth. Don't give this person a free card by letting yourself shoulder responsibility in any way. It can also be difficult to forgive if the abuser caused significant or permanent injury, harm, or pain either physically or psychologically. It's also more difficult for victims if the abuser has not shown remorse. In these cases, healing without forgiveness can be a valid and necessary choice for the survivor to move on and focus on their own healing. This involves processing and working through the trauma, rebuilding a sense of safety, and learning to trust again. A person may find it difficult to resume their normal everyday routine and activities. Learning to live a fulfilling life despite your trauma is challenging but must and can be worked through. There is no set amount of time that a victim needs to process this step to recovery. The trick is to keep working at this objective at your own individual speed, but keep at it. Don't give up. Don't get disappointed or discouraged, or stop working at reclaiming those parts of your life that someone else damaged. Keep at it even if you feel you're not advancing or improving as fast as you wished. Another tool which can help someone to begin healing without forgiveness is utilizing a therapist or counselor. Finding a good match to reaching your goals is not as difficult as people think if you are honest, upfront, and stay on track with your expectations. For those who don't like or believe in therapy, come on now, people. Many professionals can provide a safe and supportive environment to process trauma and develop coping strategies. Excellent support groups exist and provide another type of support. These group members are working to seek a healthy self-attitude. This is one of the objectives you'll be working toward, so you'll have much in common. Building a supportive network of friends and loved ones can also provide a sense of safety and security. What's not needed are people giving unasked for, and often, overwhelming advice about what you should or should not be doing. Even well-intended criticism may cause more pain and confusion than support. Let it be known this is counterproductive to your healing. Engaging in self-care practices like meditation, exercise, meeting friends or family members for social time, or even just getting out of the house for a walk or ride prevents isolation. We do know isolation has proven to be a huge barrier to healing. It's very toxic and easy to fall victim to if you're not aware. Self-isolation is a serious problem for many people trying to find joy, happiness, feeling good about themselves, and most importantly, believing you can still have a happy and healthy life, regardless of your trauma or abuse. Hobbies can also help survivors find a sense of joy and fulfillment outside of the problems they have experienced. Don't dismiss the idea before even trying. You just might be surprised how a simple hobby could make you smile and feel good. Many survivors struggle with feelings of shame, guilt, fear, distrusting people, and losing their sense of self-worth. For survivors who choose not to forgive their abuser, there can be an intense feeling of hopelessness and despair. The power of believing they can and will get better gets shattered. It can feel like the weight of the abuse will always be with them, and that they will never be able to fully move on from their trauma. However, it's important to remember that healing is possible, even in the absence of forgiveness. While forgiveness can be a powerful tool for some in the healing process, it is not the only path. Survivors can find other ways to work through their trauma and find a sense of peace and happiness. As I stated, there are many resources available to survivors of abuse, including therapy or counseling, support groups, hobbies, etc. But considering new activities, such as joining a social club, taking a class of interest, checking out self-help books, and various resources, provide valuable outlets. Even volunteering can provide a positive way to distract from solely focusing on your problems and issues. These resources can also provide another safe and supportive environment. In addition, it can also help in rebuilding trust. Survivors can process their trauma and develop the skills and strategies they need to move forward. People underestimate the negative impact of having too much idle time. It's important to remember that healing is a process, and it can take time and patience to fully recover from the trauma. But with the right support and resources, survivors can find hope and healing and begin to live a life free from the weight of their past experiences.